And we are back, and we just finished watching 2014's Comet, rated R, with a runtime of 1 hour and 31 minutes. This is by writer-director Sam Esmail. This is a kind of love story, but kind of not love story. This is the story of Dell, played by Justin Long, who one day, while he's online to, I guess, get a spot in a cemetery to watch a meteor shower, meets a girl named Kimberly, played by Emmy Rossum, who then becomes, I guess, the love of his life. And the film jumps back and forth over the course of their 6-year relationship. I've seen this several times, and I really, really like this film. It's not an easy film to sit through because of the time jumping, but I think that the writer-director does a really good job of being specific through, I guess, hairstyles and clothing to delineate, I guess, certain periods in time. I saw this with my firstborn, and this is her first time watching it. So I am going to ask her what she thought of the film. G, what are your impressions of this film?
In terms of taste, like music or movies or games or anything wise, I've always agreed with Dad, or maybe not always. Most of the time, I've agreed with Dad on his opinions of things. So when he constantly rags on this movie, I thought, oh, it might not be that good. But I never actually watched this film. I think I've seen like a couple of scenes from it, but I was I was much, much younger than I am now. I saw the scene where he is standing in a monsoon, and I remember that one because I'd never heard that word before. So I've seen bits and pieces, but not enough to form my own opinion about the film. So now that I've watched it, I went in kind of thinking, I don't know, it might not be good, but I'll try and keep my expectations like level or whatever. And I don't know, it wasn't bad. I thought it was cute, sort of. And I definitely didn't hate it like Dad does. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it made me sad.
I think it's supposed to.
Yeah, that's the point. It's not really a feel-good movie. No.
Yeah, even though it's a love story, it's kind of not.
I mean, it's like one of the aspects of love, or it does tell a story of a love, or it's a love story, a story of love, whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it doesn't end the way a typical love story would.
Right.
Or like some cheesy Hallmark movie.
You really have to pay attention here because the characters jump time so often.
Yeah, I was getting confused. I remember I had you pause so that we could work it out.
Yeah.
And then as soon as we were wrong.
And I actually got confused because I forgot that one thing happened after something else. And I was like, oh, no, that happens first, but it wasn't that. And so you have
eventually it becomes clear.
Clearer, right.
Yeah. I got it. I knew what happened, and then we talked, and I got scrambled out of order. So if you pay attention, you'll be able to, you'll understand what order things are going in. Because, it's pretty easy to tell. Yeah.
And I think also, much like life, this presents sort of like the messiness of life. Here are two people that find themselves through whatever circumstances, and
very atypical circumstances
very
too,
atypical,
because they don't have like a sort of
meet.
A meet cute.
Oh, meet cute. Sorry.
I guess you could say like, oh, that's so funny. It's so funny how they met, but you wouldn't say, oh, it's so cute how you two met. 'Cause it's not really cute.
Because technically she's on a date with somebody else.
But he's a douche. Oh my God, he's so annoying.
But Dell isn't much better.
Yeah, when we started watching the movie and he started talking, I was like, man, this guy's a jerk. But then the guy behind them, unnamed extra guy. Yeah. He's even worse. Yeah. I thought that he was worse than Dell was.
Yes, for sure.
Dell is also a weird name. I didn't like his name. And I've never really liked the name Kimberly either. I didn't like, at the beginning, Kimberly is sort of like it's clear that Dell is more the main focus, or he's more like expressive maybe. I don't know how to explain it. It's just you're able to form an opinion of him before you're able to form an opinion of Kimberly. Yes. Because I didn't really, it's not like I'm like, oh, I didn't even notice Kimberly, because obviously she's one of the main characters. Mm-hmm. But it's like yeah, I didn't have an opinion of her until a certain event happens in the film. I'm like, oh God, she's stupid and weird. Or she's not weird. She's stupid and not cool, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I think, and we sort of had a conversation right after the film, you and I think that first impressions are kind of interesting because you can let it sway you, or you can sort of go on the ride in this film. And in this film, Dell, at the beginning, Dell is a jerk.
Yeah, he's annoying.
He is. But then you come to realize that the reason he's a jerk is because he desperately does not want to get hurt.
Yes, very much so.
Very much. And I think that his mother's illness also plays a part in that, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to live like, any day might be her last.
Exactly, right? And he tries to help her. There's that scene where he tells Kimberly, like, oh, I made this drug and her cancer is now in remission. Mm-hmm. But then ultimately, that's not the thing that kills her. It's something else, right? So you can't always plan, right? Life
Are we going to give spoilers in the...
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this movie's like, 10 years old. So, life happens, right? And I think that also when you're in a relationship, which is, you come to find out that this couple is together, then they break up, then he wins her back.
Yes.
And then he loses her again. And then in that time, they sort of grow up. I mean, 6 years is a long time to be. I mean, I don't think they were together for 6 years, but on and off, they were in each other's lives for this amount of time.
Yeah.
And he never really gets over her.
No, not at all.
She's his white whale. She's his North Star. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I think in the beginning, especially before the first breakup, I think he very much took her for granted.
Yeah.
And he never said the things he should have said.
Mm-mm. He was terrible at being in a relationship.
He was terrible. But I think it's because he wasn't ever really in such a long-term relationship.
Right.
And I think that through his own neuroses and hang-ups and whatever, he didn't think they would last. He didn't think they would last. And he
mentions like, oh, you're better looking than me or whatever.
Right.
So it's like, I guess he thought, he's like, and I like having someone I'm not worthy of or something.
Right.
So he was waiting for like the other shoe to drop.
Right. And I think by him constantly saying or referring to their relationship in the past, which would piss her off.
Yeah, she'd get mad. She'd be like, yo, you're doing it again.
Yeah, why do you always do that?
Yeah, you're not making me happy.
Right.
How do you do that?
Right. And it's like, he's already pushed her away. Right.
Yeah.
Whatever his intentions were. And it's funny because he was actually going to propose to her.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't. And then that seemed excessive because he's like, he takes the ring and he flushes it. And I'm like, dude, that was a pretty ring too.
Yeah. It probably cost a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. It's not the best film, but I really liked it because it was a love story, but it's not a love story exactly because it's a love story or it's a romance story about a relationship that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
I mean, to him, it still does because he's desperately trying to get her back, but she has moved on with her life.
Yeah. She was always the one to move on.
Yes. And I think when he breaks up with her, I think that was when it definitively ended for her, I think.
Yeah, I guess so. Because when she breaks up with him...
Actually, because they hadn't spoken since Paris, right?
The story, I'm pretty sure...
Oh, no. Paris happened before the train.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure what happened was they meet, then they're together, whatever. They go to the wedding. They're in the apartment in Paris. He's going to propose, and then he doesn't. And then they get into all of that. And then she walks out on him. Mm-hmm. And then that's when the train happens, yes. Right. And that's when she's going to see Jack.
Right.
As well. Like I said, she's always the one to move on.
Yeah.
But he manages to win her back.
And they're dating, and that's when she's curly-haired.
Yeah, the monsoon. And then
that's when he breaks up with her.
That's when he breaks up with her, and she cries. And then...
I guess she gets back with Jack.
Yeah, her in-between ex. And then this is the last sequence when he goes to see her with
right.
the bouquet.
Right. Yeah. So technically, yeah, I think that when she cries in the car is like the definitive moment. And he didn't mean it. He didn't want that.
No, yeah. He just wanted to leave before she left him, I guess.
Exactly. He wanted to hurt her.
That was the other shoe drop, and he's like, oh, she's going to leave me for this guy or something.
Right.
He's like, do you like him? Oh, you like him.
Right.
So he's like, I don't love you. I want to break up.
Right. And he said all those horrible things. And she even says, like, you don't mean that.
Yeah.
You don't mean that.
I thought it was selfish of her in that scene because she does bad. She does bad. And she goes, and even if it wasn't physical, you can't be talking to someone else like that.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like, oh, like friendly, whatever. She was talking to Jack in a way that made her guilty. He's like, you seem off.
Right.
So,
and
yeah.
He
and then
knew her enough to realize.
Yes, even over the phone.
3,000 miles away.
Yeah.
He was
one
in New York
is in
and
New
she's
York.
in California.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, can I just can I have a conversation with you without feeling bad about it or whatever?
Right.
Like, that's so selfish of you. You just revealed that you've been talking to another man.
Right.
To your boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when my opinion formed of her. Before then, she was just like, she was the main character, but it was like she didn't have like a voice of her own or whatever. Yeah. I don't like Kimberly.
If you were going to give this film a number from 1 to 10, what would you give it?
Maybe an 8.
An 8?
Yeah. Like I said, I don't hate that. You kept looking over at me like, oh, you hate this. I didn't hate it.
I know. I was ready to turn it off. I was like, I can't put her through this.
I didn't hate it. I liked the film. Like I said, it just depressed her. It made me sad.
Yeah. Well, I think it's supposed to.
Yes, obvious. Like I said, it's not a feel good movie.
Yeah.
I'm just much more fond of lighthearted movies where, they get together.
Happy ending. Sure.
Obviously, some of them are too bad, but I guess, yeah. I still prefer they don't make me sad like this does.
Yeah. Yeah. We've seen other films where people get their heart broken. For example, like Eternal Sunshine, right? So Clementine and Joel.
That's a good movie.
That's a great movie. That's like one of my favorite love stories. And that's also very non-traditional because they're going through a breakup and she decides she wants to get rid of her memories of him. So she goes to a place to have them erased. Mm-hmm. And when he finds out, he does it out of spite.
Yeah.
But when the procedure is happening, he realizes that
he doesn't want that.
He doesn't want that. So that when they do meet each other again, and then they're given information to let them know that they were in a relationship and that they went through this procedure, and they hear like the mean things that they say about each other.
Yeah.
She's ready to walk out. She's ready to walk out. And he's like, just wait a minute. Just wait a minute. And she says, I'm not trying to save you. I'm just trying to get through whatever and get my own peace of mind. And he says to her, I don't see anything I don't like.
All right. And
then they look at each other. And she says, okay. And he says, okay. And it's funny because in that moment, you know that at some point they're going to fight, that they're going to be angry with each other, that the uncomfortable conversations that they had in the past might return. However, even knowing that they could hurt each other, they're willing to go down this road because the feelings that they have for each other right now are more powerful than the hurt that could potentially lie ahead.
Yes.
So in the same way here, I felt like Dell's journey was interesting because it's very human. It's very human to fall in love with someone, to build these walls because you don't want to be weak or vulnerable, but then to realize that this is where you want to be. When he says at the end, there's millions of universes and this one doesn't feel right. The one that feels right is the one where you and I are together.
Yeah. It's like the universe where you and I are together. That's where my heart is.
Exactly. And that line always wrecks me. I feel it here as someone who has been hurt in the love game, right? I know that feeling, and that feeling is universal to get your heart torn out like that, to think of somebody and to want to be with them, but it's so one-sided because that person has either moved on or whatever, they don't feel about you in that way. So in that respect, I really like this film because I feel like this film does a great job of showing you that. Because usually when you see stories about love stories, they're more forgiving and they're more positive, right?
Yeah,
but here, there's definitely a loser. Dell is a loser. Ugh. And he loses big time.
He does.
He does. So I want to thank you for watching this with me. I had a great time.
I liked watching it.
I liked watching it with you. I had a great time.
Put my phone down and I didn't look at it. I
saw that. I was pleased and surprised. And it's funny because I kept looking at you and you have such a great poker face because I can't tell if you enjoy something or not. You are your father's daughter.
When we neared the end of the film and I saw you out of the corner of my eye, I keep looking at me. I was like giggling to myself because I knew you were going to say, oh, you hate it. We didn't have to review it. And I was going to be like, oh, I didn't hate it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I think your dad maybe saw a third of that film. And he was just like, what am I doing with my life? And I looked at him and I was
crazy
like,
because it's not a long film. That's a good duration time for a film.
Like an hour and 30 minutes.
An hour and 30 minutes, like flat. That was a good,
boom.
Yeah. I like the length of the film.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely give it an 8. I was going between 7 and 8, but I think that it's not a bad film.
Yeah. Yeah. The writing is strong. The performances are great. The background is interesting.
I do like what they did. Things. One of my favorite things is, I think it might have been in the sequence, their first like date, quote unquote, where, oh yes, it's because she's like, what's your favorite word? And he's like, oh, it's comet. And she's like, oh, not like ensconce and whatever, proliferate or whatever. Yeah. And she's like, but comet, and she makes a little motion with her hands, and there's like a special effect with a comet, and it just sort of like disperses. I liked that.
Well, and then towards the beginning of the film, where he keeps looking at her and she's looking at him and they're in the throes of like the first blush of like a relationship where you're really into the person and you just don't see what's around you.
And when he first saw her, I thought that in the background, I thought everybody like started moving away.
Yeah.
Like it was just those two.
And then he says, I just don't want to miss it.
Yeah.
And they completely miss the meteor shower. You hear people like cheering in the background, but
he doesn't look at her. He doesn't look away from her at all.
No, at all. And she's mesmerized by him as well. Because she's like, this guy is weird, but I'm digging it, whatever it is. Because he's not like Johnny Handsome from before.
Dude. Yeah. And he wasn't, Dell was like, oh, you're a good looking guy. He wasn't even that good looking. He looks pretentious.
Well, the guys like that, like they're tall and they're.
I liked his commentary on the guy. Dell at the beginning was annoying, but I did enjoy. He was like, "Oh, I'm sure you've been pretty even since you were young. Like nobody really challenged you, which is why you're so shallow now.
Yeah.
You've never been challenged, never been opposed. I like that, and it was accurate because that guy was annoying."
I too will give this movie an 8. I think from where it starts to where it ends, it's quite the journey. And again, as a viewer, you have to participate. You have to pay attention because if you don't, you're going to miss things. And I think that this film, it's about love going away.
Yeah.
It's not about love staying. It's about love going away. And also how some people just kind of never recover from that. They never get over that love. And yeah, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. But every time I watch it, I'm gratified because I think that much like Eternal Sunshine, if you've ever been in that position, it's better, like the old famous phrase of it's better to have loved than to never have loved at all. Mm-hmm. And I think that too rings true here, where
it was definitely true in Kimberly's case. She was like, I needed you.
Right. She was gratified that he was part of her journey because it made her realize the things that she was willing to compromise and the things that she wasn't willing to compromise on. Mm-hmm. And even though she was hurt by Dell, by the final breakup, it also brought her back to Jack because Jack had always been there in a way.
Like she said in the film, or maybe he said it. Oh, you're in between X or whatever.
Yeah.
I think she might have said it might in between eggs.
Yeah. So, and she was going to see him when they were on the train, but then something about him. So I wonder if he hadn't picked up on those clues, if they eventually would have gotten back together again, because he was willing to propose to her at one point.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot to think about. And again, it's the storytelling is very interesting because, like I said, it time jumps so much that you really have to focus on the characters. And I appreciate you for putting the phone down, because you could really delve into the story then and really just go on that journey with these characters. I think Sam Esmail does a really great job here. Again, I think this is when he's doing Mr. Robot, which is one of those shows that really hit the zeitgeist as far as pop culture and became a huge success for him. But this film kind of flew under the radar. I don't think it was
I've never heard of anybody talk about this film besides you.
Yeah, I don't think it was massively distributed or anything, but I remember watching it and just being really enthralled about it, and then just trying to find, I think the first time I saw it, I may have seen 2/3 of it, so I missed the first third of it. So just trying desperately to figure out when it was playing again on cable. And you actually gifted me this DVD a few years back. I don't know if you remember.
I think I do.
Yeah. So I actually own this. But so I actually own this film, but it's always great to watch it. And I just I was really pleased to share this with you, G.
I liked watching it with you, and I like reviewing movies with you.
Oh, likewise. I adore you. And again, this is playing on Paramount Plus from 2014. It's Comet with Emmy Rossum and Justin Long, written and directed by Emmy Rossum's husband, Sam Esmail. And is rated R for, I guess, language and content, and clocks in at 1 hour and 31 minutes. I think if you haven't seen it, it's quite an interesting watch. It's tagged on IMDb as sci-fi, romance, drama, and comedy. I would say it's light on the comedy. There's definitely drama and romance. Mm-hmm. And I guess there's some elements of sci-fi, although not outwardly.
Yeah.
He basically explained the time jumps as his dreams. He had dreams where he was seeing parts of their relationship.
Right.
And then at the end, how he says he wanted to desperately get back into the dream.
Yeah, he tried so hard to fall back asleep.
Oh, yeah. That ending really wrecks me.
It's so sad. Like, I was already really sad by that point with the film, and then that happened, and it just made it worse.
That happens. Sometimes just love doesn't stay, and somebody's going to get their heart broken, and unfortunately it was Dell. Yeah, I mean, the big winner here is Jack, obviously. He got the cute wife. He got the great life. So
she might be cute, but she's annoying. I don't like it.
All right, fair enough. All right, so again, currently playing on Paramount Plus and also on Roku Channel with commercials, I believe, but also to buy rent on Prime. Again, it's Comet from 2014, rated R, 1 hour and 31 minutes. Did I say Paramount Plus?
Yeah, you said it.
Okay, Paramount Plus, Roku Channel, and buy rent on Prime Video. All right, and that's it from us, and we will bid you all a
good night.
Good night.